Hello and welcome to Behind the Bull, Their Lives, the show that brings you closer to sport. This week we catch up with BDO World Darts Champion Scott Mitchell, get to know the FA Cup's youngest ever manager, and Michael Carberry looks ahead to the new county championship season. First up, we went down to Scott Mitchell's farm in Dorset to relive that match-winning moment and see what he gets up to off the stage.
And the 2015 Lakeside World Darts Champion is Scott Mitchell.
They're quite soft until they get to that point. Just have no time to get them around up.
On January the 11th, 2015, Scott Mitchell became the BDO World Darts Champion. He beat Martin Adams 7-6 to lift the world title and carve his name alongside darting greats such as Eric Bristow and Phil Taylor. His parents' farm in Dorset is a world away from over 1,000 people singing his name at Lakeside. Mitchell's match-winning moment was watched by millions around the world, and he remembers it well.
I looked at my wife and I said, "You okay?" She said, "Yeah, I'm fine, just go and hit this double." So I just calmly went to the board, really careful with the first dart, not to do anything silly and pull it into a 1 or a 5 and then put yourself into loads of pressure because you know the crowd are going to go, ooh, whether you hit it or whether you miss it. So I missed with the first one and then I felt, I had my range, no problem, and just let the second one go and in she went.
The 44-year-old grew up on his family's farm and he still lends his parents a hand every week. Being surrounded by cows, geese, chickens and horses is Mitchell's retreat from all the chaos.
To come to the farm and feed a few calves, they don't answer back, they don't ask you questions, so it's always good to be around the animals, and it seems a bit strange to say that, but it's true. And like I've been marking football pitches this morning for our local youth football team. They've got 6 pitches that I marked this morning, so they'll all be ready for them for the weekend. And I just like doing that, really. It's just so far away from the hustle bustle of being in Lakeside and in front of 1,500 people screaming your name.
Along with winning one of dart's most prestigious tournaments, Mitchell was made £100,000 richer. Before he even threw a dart in the Lakeside Championships, he made a promise with his dad, Jeff.
I said before I went to Lakeside, I said, if I win this Lakeside, Dad, I'm going to buy you a new tractor and save you a load of time. So, yeah, and then I went and won it, so then I sort of really shouldn't have said it, should I really? So, yeah, it cost me a few quid, but there we go, I true to my word.
Alongside being England's captain and playing on the dart circuit, Mitchell still turns out for his local pub team. Strict team rules meant that the world champion was dropped from his team's next match after the Lakeside final.
The week that I played at Lakeside, I missed that week. So we've got 7 in the team, so I got dropped. So I won the World Championships one day, and then I got dropped from my club team the next day. So that's how to keep your feet on the floor.
Mitchell's hectic schedule post-Lakeside has seen him take the World Trophy on his travels to scout halls, exhibitions and overseas to Germany. However, it was one trip too many for the legendary piece of silverware.
I've had a little accident with the trophy. I had it on the back seat of the car and somebody in the village pulled across in front of me and I hit the brakes and the trophy flew off the back seat of the car. And then when I got to my destination, which I was actually having some pictures with the trophy with some kids at a football club, and I went to get the trophy out the back seat and one of the handles had snapped off. So I had a trophy, the most legendary trophy in darts, with a handle missing.
Adrian Scott for Behind the Bull.
In charge of Wessex Division 1 side Romsey Town, James Phillips became the FA Cup's youngest ever manager, aged just 22. Now a coach for Team Solent, who plays a division higher, Phillips tells us how he made footballing history.
At the age of 16, James Phillips left school not knowing what he wanted to do. He began coaching at Lyndhurst FC, where he gained his FA Level 1 coaching badge. He also coached in the community and for Southampton FC's youth teams. In 2003, he moved to Romsey Town as assistant reserve team manager, before a year later being named their first team boss.
The pace of the game is a hell of a lot different. Players you're working with, obviously, the high quality, and there's obviously a lot more pressure. No one really knows about a reserve team manager, but first team manager obviously gets a lot of publicity, as I ended up finding out. But yeah, pressure's a little bit more, but other than that, it's all the same really.
At the beginning of the 2014-15 season, Phillips managed his side in the extra preliminary round of the FA Cup. The Wessex Division 1 outfit was beaten 3-1 at home to Fareham Town. However, Phillips went down in the history books. The 22-year-old became the FA Cup's youngest ever manager since Stan Cullis in 1949, and this came as a surprise.
I hadn't really thought about it, to be totally honest with you, and then someone got in contact, journalists saying that they thought I'd probably be the youngest ever. They did a bit of research into it, all the background, and then from there it just went mental. I had phone calls from everywhere about it. But no, I wasn't aware of it until sort of about a week or two before.
After 11 months in charge of Romsey Town, their board decided to release Phillips after winning just one game in 15. The talented coach took time out of the game and then took up a coaching role at Wessex Division 1 leaders Team Solent. Phillips admits leaving Romsey has slightly taken the shine off his piece of history.
Now I've left, it sort of lessens the experience really. Obviously I would have liked to have gone on and done it a lot more, but it's something I'll always be very, very proud of. I don't think many people are going to get close to breaking that record. So it's something I'm really proud of, and it was a big achievement. But just want to go on to bigger and better things now as well. So
Phillips didn't have much of a playing background, as coaching was his passion since the age of 14. There are only a handful of coaches in the professional game with no playing experience, and Phillips doesn't see this as a stumbling block.
Without the playing background, it's probably going to be really difficult, but there's a lot of coaches that have done it nowadays, so working up through UEFA B, hopefully get my A licence and then just go from there really. But obviously I want to get into the professional game in some capacity, but when that happens, there's no rush to get into there.
Phillips has been both a coach and manager since he got involved in football 6 years ago. He wants to continue developing his coaching style on the training pitch before stepping up to be a manager once again.
Would I manage again? Yes. Do I regret going in as a manager? No. And I've probably learnt a hell of a lot in the last couple of months, even since leaving, about things I'd do a lot different. But no, definitely coach at the moment. I want to be hands-on, stay on the pitch and do my work with the players.
Every day after school, Phillips went home and played Football Manager on his computer. His biggest achievement in the game was taking conference side Eastleigh to the Premier League. He now plays the computer game out in real life, but is it realistic?
I've got to admit, it's probably nowhere near it. Tactically, obviously you pick up a little bit, formations and stuff, but apart from that, nah, it's not very realistic, I've got to add.
With time on his side, the custom vehicle fitter has everything in his favour to break into the professional game and develop football's rising stars. Olivia Lynn for Behind the Ball.
With the cricket season underway, batsman Michael Carberry has high hopes for his Hampshire side.
Michael Carberry is Hampshire's fourth longest serving player and has lifted 3 domestic trophies in the last 5 years. Last season, the left-handed batsman helped Hampshire to return to the County Championship Division 1 after a 4-year absence. Carberry insists his side aren't in the county's top division to simply make up the numbers.
Personally, it's nice to be back in Division 1, I've got to be honest, playing against the best and obviously getting runs against the best. I think it's a position I feel the club should be in. We're a good enough team to win. I think we should go into Division 1 with that mindset of looking to win it, not looking to stay up or anything like that. I would urge the guys, we're here to win.
Over the off-season, Hants recruited the likes of Gareth Berg and Fidel Edwards to boost their chances of success. Hampshire's younger players, such as Chris Wood, Danny Briggs and Brad Taylor, have had a few seasons to sharpen their skills in Division 2. Carberry believes that the team's rising stars are ready to step up and prove themselves.
We've got the tools now. I think our young players, well, can't really call them young players now, they've been around forever, but they're now 3 years more experienced, having spent some time in Div 2. They've played a lot more, they know their games, and it's just now applying that in a more intense format of the game.
In September, the Southampton-based club signed Yasir Afrat as a limited overs specialist. Carbs won the 2015 Big Bash series with the Pakistani all-rounder, and he welcomes his former Perth Scorchers teammate.
He's a proven performer. He had a great Big Bash as well. He was one of the main catalysts really for us to win the tournament. So he brings a lot of experience. He's played a lot in 2020 around the world, and I think he'll be very good for our squad.
Luke Osborne for Behind the Ball.
That's all for this edition of Behind the Ball, Their Lives. Tune in next time for more stories across the world of sport. I'm Amy Sutton. Goodbye.